We've been studying Matthew 5:13, where Jesus says that we are the salt of the earth. And we've learned that there are two things here. One is just as salt adds flavor to the food, we are to make the lives of those around us better because we've come in contact with them. Also, just as salt is a preservative, it keeps things from decaying. We live in a world that is dying spiritually. God calls us to use our influence to make this world a better place. There's something else that Jesus says in this passage, so let's take a look. It says, "You are the salt of the earth, but if salt loses its saltiness, it is then good for nothing but to be thrown out and trampled underfoot." Now, this is a difficult saying because salt actually never loses its saltiness. The salt that you have in your cupboard 100 years from now will be just as salty as it is today. So what does Jesus mean if salt loses its saltiness? Well, in Jesus' day, they didn't have a way of removing the impurities from the salt. So they would take the salt, and the salt would have these impurities in it, and they would take it to market. Some of it would spill over onto the roadway. And when it rained, the rain would wash the salt away, but it would leave these impurities behind. The impurities would look like salt, but nobody bothered to pick it up because you couldn't use it to season your food. You couldn't use it to preserve anything because it wasn't salt. It just looked like salt. So Jesus is saying, if we lose our influence, we're like that mounds of salt, stuff that looked like salt, but it's not salt. God doesn't want us to lose our saltiness. And the way that we remain salty is by being connected to Jesus. And as long as we're connected to Jesus, we'll have the real thing. We'll be able to influence the world for Jesus and make a positive impact. But if we ever separate ourselves from Christ, we're going to be like those mounds of, well, look like salt, but we won't be salt. So today, go and be a salty Christian. Stay connected to Jesus, and as you do so, you'll make other people's lives better, and you can make yourself a great day as well.